Okay, welcome to another video tutorial session on the BlueSeer software application. BlueSeer is an open source ERP and EDI solutions package, primarily targeting the manufacturing sector, but also startups, job shops, and other business applications that require a non-commercial system. It has all the traditional functionality of a commercial system, except that it's an absolutely free application. So yeah, you can download it at BlueSeer.com. You can use it for free. We do offer hosting services for the ERP and the EDI solutions package. So if you have a need for that, or if you have a need for implementation services or training services, feel free to reach out to the contact information at BlueSeer.com. Okay, with that said, what we're going to look at here today is the serialized inventory. We're going to show you how to create serialized inventory and then also how to relieve that inventory by specific serial numbers into a shipper/invoice. So one of the first things you want to do when you downloaded and install the application is you want to go to Inventory, Inventory Control, and you want to click on this Serialized Inventory. And this is a mutually exclusive option in that each of these are all serialized, all functionality is serialized, or none of it is. So if you click this, you want serialized inventory to where your transactions are being associated with serial numbers, then you want to click this. So check this box, click update, and that's it. So now all of your inventory, you're required to put serial numbers with any inventory transaction that you do. Okay, what we're going to look at first is there's three ways to create inventory with serial numbers in the BlueSeer application. So the first way is production entry. So you're essentially manufacturing a product, a finished good product, and you're posting production of that entry. At that point in that panel, you can actually create serial numbers for it. The second is to purchase and receive. So whether it's a purchase component, a raw component, or just an asset, purchasing and receiving, you can receive by serial numbers. And then the third is the simplest method, which is basically just a miscellaneous adjustment to where you're just receiving an inventory without the headache of creating purchase orders, or if you're not doing production in the ERP itself. You're just buying the goods and selling the goods. So with that said, let's create us an item real quick. Item menu, item maintenance. And we're just going to create a miscellaneous item. This is a test item. We're going to leave all this other information the same as the defaults are. We're just going to put a selling price of $4, and we're going to do a purchase price of $3. We're doing that because we'll be seeing, once we do the transactions, you actually be able to see an invoice. You'll see what was relieved and versus what was sold on the invoice, the cost that is. So once you've done that, you've got this information here, just click add, and you now have an item in your item master. So if you go to inventory, inventory miscellaneous reports, inventory browse, and you just click run, you'll see that your new item is here and that your quantity on hand is 0. We don't have any inventory in there for right now. So the first one we're going to do the simplest one first. We're going to just do inventory adjustment. You're just going to receive the goods in via an inventory adjustment transaction. So go to inventory, inventory adjustment menu, inventory adjustment. And this is the type is only type receive or issue. So you're either receiving an inventory or you're issuing out inventory. So we're going to do type receive. We're going to pull up, click enter or press enter, click the flag, and we're going to pull up our one little item. And then you can leave all this other information default, and we're going to put in a quantity of 5. And we're going to not put a serial number in here just to demonstrate that it's going to require you to have one. Serial number is required per inventory control. So when we check that flag in inventory control, you're required to have a serial number. Now you can put an ad hoc serial number in here, or you can just click generate and it'll generate a serial number for you. So then click commit, and that'll put that inventory into, or that item into inventory. So if you go back to inventory, inventory miscellaneous reports, inventory browse again, click run, you will see that we have a quantity of 5 in our inventory records associated with this serial number. Okay, that's the first method. That's the easiest method to do. The second method is to do a purchase order and receiving against that purchase order. So we're going to click purchasing, purchase order maintenance, test, or new. Click the default vendor that comes with the installation package, and just go to lines, choose our item, and we're going to do a quantity of 10 here. Click add, and click add on the main screen, and that commits your purchase order. Now we're going to receive that information once the vendor ships the item to you, and you're going to receive it in the inventory. So we'll go to receiver maintenance, click new, choose the vendor we just assigned to the purchase order, choose the purchase order we just created, and then there's only one line item there. Over here you have to put in a packing slip bill of lading number. We're just going to put the word test, and we're going to go ahead and receive in the ordered quantity, which is 10. We're going to click generate, and it's going to generate a unique serial number here. And then we're going to click add, auto voucher, and then click add. Now this will commit this inventory, this line item, this receipt into the inventory. Click add. Okay, now so we go back to inventory, inventory miscellaneous reports, inventory browse, click run. We should have 2 records there. I forgot to assign the warehouse and location, but that's okay. You'll see that we have the first item with serial number here of quantity 5 that we received in via inventory adjustment, and then the second item via purchasing and receiving the product here with this unique serial number. So we've got 2 serial numbers here. Now the third option is to actually post production. I'm not going to go through that because you have to have routings and BOMs and all the information to allow you to post production. But I will show you the menu to where you will post production for a finished good item that has bill of material and routings. Production menu, production entry, and it's essentially the same panel as the inventory adjustment. You will choose your item, you'll choose the bill of material, and you'll choose the operation that you're posting against, and again you'll have to generate a serial number. So that's the third method for generating or creating serialized inventory. Okay, now we have some records with serialized inventory in our application. We're going to relieve that inventory by shipping some of that inventory. And the easiest way to ship serialized inventory is just to go to shipping, shipper maintenance, serialized. Now this menu here it does 2 functions. It actually creates the shipper, but at the same time it's going ahead and invoicing it. It kind of shortcuts the process. All you're doing is selecting inventory to ship. You create this record, create this shipper. When you click add, it will actually create the shipper and the invoice. So it'll go ahead and invoice the product for you at the same time and committing the shipper. So we're going to click new, choose our default customer, and click the item that we have, and it'll tell you what inventory values you have in or what items you have with serial numbers in your inventory records. And here's the 2 that we've already created. So we're going to do the first one first. We're going to create, we're going to ship the first serial number, and we're going to click add item. Now the total quantity you have is 5, but we're going to just ship 3, just to show the reduction in inventory and what's remaining. We're not going to add any more items, so this is the only item we're shipping with a quantity of 3. So if we click add here, it will commit that to inventory. It'll even create you an invoice. You can even print the invoice from here. You'll see that it was a quantity of 3 on the invoice, and you'll see our price that we put in the item master. So all that information is there as well. Okay, so if you go back to inventory, inventory miscellaneous reports, inventory browse, we should have reduced our inventory by 2. Yes, so I'm sorry, by 3. So that inventory now has dropped, this inventory serial number has dropped to a quantity of 2 because 5 from 3 is 2, and we still have the remaining 10 from the receiving process. So let's do one more. And so we're going to go back to shipping, shipping maintenance, and we're going to ship the other serial number. New Acme, oops. We're going to ship 4 of it. Add item. Notice that the quantity was debited here, so this is the only available quantity on this serial number to ship on the previous serial number. Here we have a quantity of 10. We're going to drop that down to 6. 6, enter. And then we're going to click add. That'll create a second invoice. And so we come back to inventory browse, and we'll see that that serial number from the receiving process has been debited by a quantity of 6. And so we're down to a quantity of 4. So our total over our quantity on hand is just now 6 for this item with those 2 inventory records. You can also see that if you go to inventory, item menu, item browse, and click run, and then you'll see that here the quantity on hand for this item is 6. You'll also see the various transactions that we've just done against that, as far as receiving in the goods and as far as issuing to sales orders. Okay, and as well as the inventory values as well. We'll be also in a running table here. So there's one other way to look at to track your serial numbers by inventory movement, and that's the serial transaction browse. So if you just click run here, you can actually search here by a specific serial number. So you'll see that if I sort by serial number here, we've had 2 transactions with this serial number and 2 with this one. One's a receipt and one's an issue to a sales order, and the respective quantities that we committed. One other thing I wanted to mention as well is that you can, if you've got inventory that has an expiration date, in each one of those panels that we talked about as far as entering the inventory into, or the items in the inventory, you can choose an effective end date as well, an expiration date. So there's an effective date of the transaction and also an expiration date of that inventory for that serial number. So you can track it that way as well. And then when you click on these flags here, it just tells you a little bit more information about the receipt transaction, when it happened, and the program that actually created it. Okay, that's it for putting items into inventory by serial number, and also retrieving that inventory and putting them on shippers by serial number again. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to BlueSeer.com, the contact page there. That contact information is also in the help about. You can also go to the github.com open source repository for the application. There's also some information where you can put in a ticket there as well. But the best way to reach us is through support@BlueSeer.com. All right, thank you.